The best thing for them to do is leave Donald Trump alone. You cannot beat him. Y'all are trying to lock this man up because y'all are in fear that if he run again, he's going to win. The Democrats knows this. Liberals, they all know this. So they doing whatever it takes to keep Trump down. And the thing about Donald Trump, he's a warrior. He's going to keep fighting. He ain't just finna sit down and let y'all do that. Because like I've been preaching for the last month or two, that only thing they are doing is just raising this man's stock up. It's just, I'm telling you, like y'all just making his chances even better. This man didn't even show up to the GOP debate. He did an interview with Tucker Carlson that blew up the internet. And them Democrats and liberals, they don't like it at all. They don't like it at all. Like I said before, them locking Trump up, all it did was just backfire on him. Now, we're going to be checking out this video right here. It's coming from Fox News, and it's called Democrat Admits Georgia Trump Case Has All Kinds of Problems. So we're going to go get ready and get straight into this. Obviously, they said that this woman named FANI Willis or Williams or something like that got something to do with getting Donald Trump locked up in Georgia. So we're going to see what Fox News have to say about it. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe. Shout out to everybody that's been showing so much support. Everybody that's been leaving positive comments in the comment section. I also want to thank everybody who clicked on this video for the very first time. I appreciate you as well. As y'all can hear, I'm trying to get my voice back, but we're going to keep on pushing out this content for y'all. And let's go, man. Let's see what Fox had to say about this. Let's go.
Well, now House Republicans on the House Judiciary Committee are demanding Fulton County DA FANI Willis answer questions over her, quote, politically motivated prosecution.
All right, here to react to his former House Judiciary Committee senior counsel, Julian Epstein. Julian, great to see you. Legally, when you saw the mugshot, everyone had a different emotion. But legally, as the president gets set to find out when he's eventually going to get into court with 18 others, is this a strong case? Is this a case you would have brought if you were Miss Willis?
I don't think it is a particularly strong case. And good morning, Brian.
Morning.
I don't think it's a particularly strong case. I think, look, I I did not vote for Donald Trump, and I was very critical of the January 6th activities and the riot and the raid on the Capitol. I still think that if you are going to bring a case against the former president, it has got to be a compelling case, not just to 12 jurors, but to the country as a whole. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that this does that. I think there are a number of questions. The first question I have is that I have not heard a good answer to is how did it take the local prosecutors, and I'm saying this as a Democrat, how did it take the local prosecutors 3.5 years, nearly 4 years to bring this case? Yeah. Why have they not answered the question about FANI Willis's conflict of interest? She held a fundraiser for the opponent of one of the targets of this investigation. We haven't heard any answer to that question. Third, generally when a state and a federal government take on a very similar, almost identical case, and this is very similar to the case that is being brought by the Justice Department on the January 6th matter, the state would have to have a rather distinct and articulable interest, a separate interest. What is the strong interest the state has here that is not being served by the federal prosecution? So I have real questions about sort of the Democrats say they are just sort of playing it by the books. They're just looking for accountability. That's fine, but I think the Democratic elites and the left elites in both the legal and the political world have got to answer some of these questions. I think beyond that, there are problems with this case, the way it's structured as a RICO case, 19 defendants, 41 counts, hundreds of overt acts. Some of the overt acts that are included are things like tweets and press releases and public statements by President Trump declaring his victory. The things that are all protected by the First Amendment. And I think the case is going to be, as you and I talked about this last week, Brian, I think the central arguments of this case are going to be questionable. I mean, the case really rests on two essential arguments. First, that when President Trump said to Rosenberger, find me 11,780 votes, when he said that, was he asking Rosenberger to falsify the votes? And I think that is the presumption of what the prosecution.
And he will say no.
Central tenet of the prosecution.
Right.
He would say no, and I think him simply saying
they are crazy,
finally
man.
11,780 votes.
Right.
I think that is a matter of interpretation, but I don't know that that's necessarily evidence that he's looking to falsify the votes. I think the other question is, sorry to be long-winded on this, I think the other question is this issue about false elector, this issue about, this false slate of electors. This essentially relied on a legal theory of some of the president's attorneys on the reading of the 12th Amendment, that the vice president has a sole discretion to turn down certain electors from certain states. I think that's a bizarre and extreme theory.
Right.
A couple of very conservative attorneys hold it. I don't know that holding that theory or acting on it is necessarily criminal. So
Julie?
I think there's all kinds of problems in this case.
Yeah, no.
Now, you have to realize this man is a Democrat, and he even coming out speaking like this. This man is not a Trump supporter, and he's coming out speaking like we all said before. I know it's going to be some people that get mad. I don't care, bro. I really don't. Like I'm going to keep saying, this stuff is going to backfire. Obviously, they booked Trump. See, Trump is smart. That's probably why he made that face. He knew making a meme look like that will go viral. See, that's the thing about Trump. He knows what to do. You see what I'm saying? And now, FANI WILLIS, the liberals, all the Democrats, a lot of them are pissed off because Trump is out of jail. They didn't even want this man to have a bond. They didn't want Trump to have a bond. They wanted Trump to sit in jail so they can keep on laughing, giggling, and all that stuff. Now look what happened. And like I said before, you even got a Democrat that's coming up here and speaking out on the situation. Just like he said, he know it's something that's going on. This little trial that they got Trump going on, it has all type of problems. It does. Like they're scared. They in fear. Because the left knows what's going to happen if Donald Trump runs for president. And like I will say, if Trump runs for president, if they don't try to pull in a little last-minute move on this man and try to stop this man from running, I can guarantee that Donald Trump will win in 2024. Because like I said, all this stuff that they doing, and he get out of it, like the raid in his house, all these indictments, it's just gonna make his him winning the presidency look that much more better. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Because guess what? The news is gonna talk about, look what Donald Trump went through. The FBI raided his house. He went through all these indictments. He got booked, put in jail. He still got out of it. And then he ran for president and won anyway. That's exactly what's gonna happen. I'm telling you.
Obviously, and we've talked about that. Julian, we booked you because you were senior counsel on House Judiciary back in the day.
Chief counsel for the Democrats.
Thank you very much. Makes that a much better business card. Now it sounds like the House Republicans, under the direction of Jim Jordan, they're going after FANI Willis, and they're trying to figure out whether or not she collaborated with the Biden administration. We saw this with Alvin Bragg. He opens the case against.
Oh, that right there is a good question. Did FANI Willis side with Joe Biden to try to take down Trump? Oh, I never thought about that right there. I've never thought about that. It like I said, this is allegedly. I'm not saying it happened. I'm just saying allegedly. What if she did side with him? Side with Joe Biden to try to help take down Trump. For some reason, they might think taking down Trump is going to... Look, even if Trump don't win, I guarantee you Joe Biden still won't get reelected. It'll be like... I think it'll be like Vivek, because I really like Vivek Ramaswamy. I really like Vivek. So it will just say, for instance, if Trump can't run and they find some type of loophole to keep this man from running, either way it go, Joe Biden is not getting reelected. I don't see that happening. You know what I'm saying? So that right there was a good question about FANI Willis allegedly teaming up with Joe Biden to try to take down Trump.
With the Biden administration. We saw this with Alvin Bragg. He opens the case against Trump here in New York City. Then the Republicans went after him, had a field hearing and stuff like that. What do you make of the Republicans going after the local DA?
I don't know at the end of the day that it's going to have all of that much difference. I don't think it had a big impact in New York. I think the New York prosecution is a travesty as well. I've written about that. I did a piece in the Wall Street Journal about that. I think it was an awful case. I think, the House has the jurisdiction. The committee has a jurisdiction to do it. I don't know that it changes the course of the prosecution. I do think one of the things that really bothers me is, Democrats out there saying that they don't want this to be political. They have not answered the question as to why it took nearly 4 years to bring this case. I don't think there's a good answer to it. And dropping this case in the middle of election season, asking former President Trump to be, in 3 or 4 potential trials during the height of election season.
That's crazy, man.
That's too much of politics to me. And
something like that ain't never happened before. Just like he just said, bro, you got to realize this is a Democrat saying this. Like, y'all wait till it's time to re-election season, and now you want this man to go through all these trials, all these indictments. You know why? Because it's just an election interference. That's all it is. Because longer they got this going on, they'll have for where Donald Trump, you cannot run for president due to the fact that you got all this going on. That's all this is about, an election interference. That's all it's about.
I don't think Democrats can claim that there's no politics here.
Yep.
Especially when you take headshots and you run on it when you're going for re-election.
The timing of it, and like you said, all these crazy counts, they just need one conviction. So they're slapping him with all these counts. Really quickly, yes or no, will this become a federal case?
I think it's likely to, at least for some of the defendants, to meet the removal, Ainsley, the removal requirement. So I think some of the defendants could get a removal. I think you're hinting at a very important question we didn't touch on, which is that because you've got 19 defendants, some of them will have a case for federal removal, some not. I think it's going to be almost impossible to get this case tried before the election.
I think
New York won't be tried before the election, and I think the other two, there are real doubts about whether you will get to those before the election.
Julian, give you credit. You, like Alan Dershowitz, said, hey, I'm not going to vote for Trump. I never will, never have.
But you're fair.
But you're fair. The law
and that's what I like. He's fair.
I wish more of us were like that way. I hear you. Like that. I think it would help the country a lot.
That's what I like right there.
I hear you. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian
And
Kilton.
exactly. This man is a Democrat, which we know they don't like Donald Trump. And this man is fair. Of course, he said he'll never vote for the man, but at the same time, he said, hey, but why can't all Democrats be fair like me? We all should be fair. Quit trying to take this man down just to be taking him down because you're scared he's going to win if he runs. You want all these trials, you want all this stuff to go before the election because you don't want him to be voted in. You don't want this man to be president again. Like this right here is crazy, man. Y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about it, man. But that was a very, very good question. Did FANI WILLIS side with Joe Biden to try to help take down Trump, allegedly? Wow. But like I said, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.